There is an old saying, wisdom is not for one alone. Long ago, before scriptures were written on scrolls or hearts, before sanctuaries and preachers' voices filled the world, God's wisdom moved freely through stories, through songs, through kindness and love. But there was one who believed wisdom should be kept, not shared. This is the story of Anansi, whose cleverness became his stumbling block, and whose journey reveals a truth as old as creation. When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. Ancient village at dawn, elders gathered in a circle, firelight dancing, sharing wisdom. Anansi, the clever spider, traveled from place to place. He watched, he listened. He grew wise in the ways of seeds and harvests, of silence and speech, of laughter and sorrow. Yet with every lesson, Anansi grew less generous. Instead of sharing wisdom, he hoarded each nugget, fearful that another might surpass him if they, too, grew wise. Anansi, sly and attentive, gathering secrets, withholding advice, keeping his knowledge hidden and heart guarded. Desiring to possess all wisdom, Anansi crafted a great clay pot. Every time he learned something new, he would whisper it into the vessel and seal it away. Soon, the pot grew heavy, but Anansi's heart grew heavier still, with suspicion and loneliness. If only I guard all wisdom, no one will have the power to better me, he justified to himself, not realizing that true wisdom cannot be caged. Anansi hunched over the glowing pot, shadows surrounding him, his face drawn tight with greed and worry. Fearful that others might discover his secret, Anansi decided to hide the pot high up in a tree, the tallest in the forest. He tied the pot to his chest and began to climb, but the heavier the pot became, the more it dragged him down. Below, his son watched. "Father," the boy called gently, "why not tie the pot to your back? It would be easier." In that instant, Anansi's pride was pierced. In all his cleverness, he missed a simple answer. The wisdom he hoarded did not make him complete, it made him blind. He was humbled by a child's insight. Anansi struggling up, child below, sunbeams breaking through, realization dawning in Anansi's eyes. Anger and shame warred within Anansi. How could someone else see what he had overlooked? In his frustration, the pot slipped. It shattered against the earth. In a brilliant flash, wisdom poured out, rising on the air, shining in the faces of the people, whispering in the wind. What Anansi tried to keep for himself became a blessing for all. The pot breaking, wisdom as light spreading, people awakening, learning, sharing. Anansi realized his mistake. Wisdom was never meant to be hidden. Though he thought himself wise, it was humility and simple kindness, a willingness to share, that was the truest wisdom of all. As people began to help and teach one another, Anansi learned what he had always missed, that to teach is to be taught, to share is to multiply, and to humble oneself is to gain true understanding. The restored village at peace, people encouraging each other, Anansi among them, changed. So remember, whosoever exalts himself will be humbled, but whoever humbles himself will be exalted. Let your wisdom be a lamp for others, not a treasure hoarded, but a legacy of love. For wisdom shared is wisdom multiplied, and God's gifts are meant for all. Christian teaching: true wisdom is not found in pride or secrecy, but in humble sharing and love. For the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and knowledge of the Holy One is understanding.